Good night, Shabbos, everyone. It's in the wee hours of Friday morning. I just returned from an incredible event. It's Erev Shabbos, Parshas Pekudei. It's Rosh Chodesh Adar, Beis. It's the second day of Rosh Chodesh, the first day of Adar, the first day of Misha Nichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. And I came back incredibly buzzed from an event that I was at. Rabbi Moshe Weinberger, a Rav from America, from the Five Towns, was here in Eretz Yisrael. And they have an event every year where all the yeshivas, all the American yeshivas, where the boys come for the gap year programs, they all joined together. There was close to 1,000 students. And Rabbi Weinberger spoke. And based on his words, I just want to share with you really a very, very beautiful idea that every single one of those 1,000 students that were sitting there was deeply touched. And it's something I think that we have to put in our minds. You know, it says in the beginning of the Megillah, it says, Vahibi me Achashveirosh, it was in the days of Achashveirosh, Hamolech me Hodu v'yad Cush. It's the Achashveirosh that ruled from Hodu to Cush. So the Gemara wants to know, what's the distance between Hodu v'yad Cush? What does it mean that he ruled from Hodu to Cush? So the Gemara says, Rav Shmuel, that it was a machlokas, a difference of opinion between Rav and Shmuel, two great sages. One of them said, Chad Omer Hodu b'sof ha'olam v'Cush b'sof ha'olam, that Hodu was in one end of the world and Cush was on the other end of the world. And that Mei Hodu v'yad Cush means he ruled over the entire world. These were on the two opposite ends, polar ends of the world. V'chad Omer, where the other rabbi says, Hodu v'Cush gab yadadi, havi kaimi, that they were next to each other. Which doesn't sound like he really ruled over much. They were so close to each other. Hodu v'yad Cush. So what exactly is the machlokas? What exactly are they arguing about? I mean, what's the facts? The fact is, where's Hodu, where's Cush? Are they far away from each other, or are they right next door to each other? What they're arguing about the Metzias, they're arguing about the way things really are. Was it this way, was it this way? You can't argue about that. It's not a machlokas. So what was the machlokas? What was the difference of opinion? What was really the issue between the two of them? So I'm going to tell you something absolutely amazing. Says the Sar Shalom Bells that really what the rabbis were asking and wondering were if these two places were close together or whether they were far apart. And what are these two places? Says the Sar Shalom that there's really two levels of existence. There's Hodu, Hod, glory, light, beauty, and there's Cush, there's darkness. And there's two kinds of Jews. There are Jews that live in Cush, that live in darkness. They're stuck. They want to make a change. They want to become better Jews. They want to become better human beings. They want to become better spouses, better fathers. They want to become better people. But they're stuck. And they're stuck to the extent that they look at it and they say, I'm never going to be able to get out of this. They look at it and they say, to get to Hodu, to get to light, illumination, to get to beauty, to get to something better than this, it's so far away. It's too far away. It's from one end of the world to the other end of the world. And for this person, he wants so badly to be in Hod. He wants so badly to get to that place. But he feels that it's too far to travel. The distance, the internal distance between those two places is so far. But Chad Omer, But the other rabbi reminds us that Hodu v'Cush gabi hadadi havi kaimi, that they're really right next door to each other. And that it is so easy to go from Hodu to Cush. It just takes resolve and a little bit of strength and internal strength. The distance between Hodu and Cush is not from one end of the world to the other. It's not far away. It's kikarav elecha adover. It is close to you. Beficha v'ilvavcha la'asoso. It's in your mouth and your heart to do it. It's right there. It's right there, and you can accomplish it. You can travel from your Cush to your Hodu, from your darkness to your light. It's a short trip. Sometimes it's not even necessary to say Tfilas Adar. You just have to have the strength and the resolve. You know, we're told on Purim that we're meant to drink. And everybody translates that as being drinking. Until we don't know the difference between Or, Haman, and Baruch Mordechai. Between cursed is Haman and blessed is Mordechai. And maybe what that's saying to us is that a person has to become intoxicated with God, intoxicated with Hodu, intoxicated with beauty and with light and with great things, and with the desire to achieve and to become a great person. Ad lo yada, until he doesn't know and realize that there's a difference between Or, Haman, and Baruch Mordechai. Whether you're living in the darkness and the Cush of Haman, or you're living in the Hodu of Mordechai, you don't see that distance. It's not these two far poles. You can easily get from the darkness to the light. You can easily get from the difficulty to the beauty. If you want it, if you're desirous of it, if you're intoxicated with God and intoxicated with goodness, if it's something that you think about and feel so deeply, then you'll be able to get there. You'll be able to get from Cush to Hodu. Because they're Gabi Hadodininu. They're actually next door to each other. They're not b'seifa olam at seifa olam. They're not from one end of the world to the other. We say in the Megillah that on this day, the day of Purim, v'na'afaychu, everything turned around. And the whole story of Purim is turnabout. It's turned around. It's things revolving around each other and just turning around. We went from death to life. We went from darkness to light. We went from pain to joy. In just a second, just a turnaround. V'na'afochu. And that's the koach. That's the power of this month. It's the power of v'na'afochu. We can turn our lives around in a dime. We can go from Cush to Hodu. We can go from the darkness to the light and to the glory and to the beauty. We can move ourselves, improve ourselves, lift ourselves, make ourselves into magnificent human beings. It's not so far. And this is the month that we have the koach, the power to do that. This is the month of v'na'afochu, that we can flip. In a second, we can turn it around. We have that ability. As we get ready for Purim, and we worry about our costumes and our shalach manas, and we worry about our sudas, and we worry about how much money we're going to give for matanas avyonim and how much mishloach manas we're going to give. Let's stop for a minute and think about how we're going to be v'na'afochu. How we're going to be able to get from Cush to Hodu. How we're going to be able to traverse that short distance between the two. And to take those dark spots in our lives and turn them into something so beautiful and magnificent. Accomplish what in our hearts we know that we really desire to accomplish, and to become the people that we dream about becoming. Have an amazing Rosh Chodesh. Have an amazing first day of Misha Nichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. As Adar comes in, we're filled with joy when we realize that the distance is so short. That of course that fills me with joy because I know that it's attainable. And that for each and every one of us, this month should be of a Nahafeichu. A month where everything gets turned around. Where the negative trajectory gets turned positive. Where the negative energy gets turned positive. Where the pain gets turned into joy in just a moment. And we're able to feel that simcha, that joy of having a positive, beautiful, incredible direction in our lives. Everybody should have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing Shabbos.